The night over Earth was calm, the stars shining as they always did. People in cities and villages looked up without worry. But then something changed. In the far distance of space, lights began to appear, not like stars, not like meteors. These lights moved in patterns, slow and deliberate. Within minutes, they multiplied, forming a wide ring around the blue planet. From every continent, people saw it, the skies filling with strange glowing shapes. Children pointed from windows. Adults stood still in streets. Traffic stopped. News channels cut their programs to show the same shocking sight. The world was silent, as if everyone knew this was not a dream. It was the beginning of something dangerous. Then came the first message, a deep voice, not human, speaking in every language at once. Earth, surrender or be destroyed. The sound did not come from radios or phones. It came from the air itself, from inside the heads of every person who could hear. In the White House, the president stood. With a pale face, advisors rushing in, generals and scientists trying to speak over each other. Some said it might be a bluff. Others whispered it was real. The voice carried weight, the kind only possible from a power greater than anything humans had known. Up in orbit, Earth's satellites recorded images of the fleet. Hundreds of ships, each one larger than the biggest aircraft carrier, covered in dark armor and strange blue markings. At their center was a single massive vessel, so large that it blocked stars behind it, its surface glowing faintly with energy. People watching on screens felt a chill. It looked like something made for one purpose: war. The United Nations called for an emergency meeting. Leaders from all nations joined through secure lines. Fear spread through the room as the scientists confirmed this was the Galactic Fleet, a military force spoken of only in whispers among alien traders and secret files. No human ship could match even their smallest cruiser. And now they were all here around Earth, on the alien flagship. Admiral Encircles stood on his command bridge, looking at the blue world below. His eyes cold to him. Earth was a prize, a resource, not a home to billions of lives. He turned to his officers and spoke in his language, the translation later. Picked up by human interceptors, 3 rotations of this world, that is all I give them. Surrender, or they will burn. Back on Earth, military leaders argued. Some wanted to prepare for battle, others said it was impossible. One general slammed his fist on the table. If we fight, we die. If we surrender, we live as slaves. But in the shadows of that meeting, a man listened without speaking. His name was Captain Elias Rains. He was not in uniform. His file was classified. Most in the room didn't know he existed for years. Rains had commanded something no one believed Earth would ever use. A ship hidden so deep beneath the ocean that even most leaders thought it was just a myth. They called it the Black Star, a warship built in secret. Combining stolen alien technology and human design, it was created for one reason: to face the kind of threat that now hung in the skies. But the cost of using it could be higher than anyone imagined. Rains looked at the live feed of the alien fleet, his face calm, but inside, he knew if the Black Star launched, there would be no going back. Meanwhile, panic began to spread in cities. People rushed to buy food, water, anything they could carry. Some prayed, others shouted in the streets. A few groups even tried to signal the alien ships with lights. Begging for mercy, in the seas, strange waves began to rise, caused by the alien fleet's energy fields. Ships in the ocean reported compasses spinning, navigation failing. In the skies, planes were forced to land as communication systems failed one by one. The Galactic Fleet was not firing, not yet. They were showing power without using it. It was a warning, a sign of what would come if Earth refused to bow. At midnight, a second message came. The same voice, but colder. Earth, your time runs short. The words echoed in every human mind. Followed by silence. In that silence, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the hidden hangar of the Black Star came alive. Engines that had not burned for years began to hum. Lights flickered on across the massive black hull. A small crew, trained in secret, walked the metal corridors, their faces grim. They had all sworn an oath: if the Black Star left the ocean, it would not return until the threat was gone. Or they were far above them, the alien fleet, tightened its ring, the gap between ships closing, Earth's sky now filled with shadows of war. And in the darkness of that night, the first steps toward a galactic war had begun, in the orbit above Earth. The alien fleet floated in perfect formation, their ships unmoving. Like predators waiting for the right moment to strike, they did not fire, they did not send more words. They simply stayed there, and that silence became heavier than any sound. In cities across the world, screens kept showing the same image. The dark line of alien ships cutting across the sky, the blue glow of their engines reflecting off the clouds. Children asked their parents if the aliens would come down. But the parents had no answers, only tight smiles hiding their fear inside the alien flagship. Admiral Encircles stood before a massive viewing screen, the image of Earth filling it from edge to edge. To him, this was not a battle, it was a hunt. And his prey was trapped with nowhere to run. His officers reported that Earth's defense systems were primitive. No real threat to the Galactic Fleet, but Encircles was not careless. He had fought humans once before, many years ago, on a forgotten moon, and he remembered something dangerous in them. He turned to his second-in-command. Do not underestimate this species. They fight hardest when they believe they have no chance back on Earth. The United Nations War Council had gathered again. The air inside the chamber tense and heavy. Generals, scientists, and world leaders argued in short bursts. Voices rising, one side demanded surrender, insisting that even if humans fought, billions would die and the planet would be ruined. The other side refused, saying Earth would never bow to a foreign power. But their arguments were interrupted by reports from orbit. Alien ships had begun moving, small patrol craft breaking away and circling the planet at low altitude. Some of these ships entered the upper atmosphere, hovering over major cities, their shadows stretching for miles. In New York, people on rooftops stared up as a black triangular craft the size of a stadium floated silently above the skyline. Its surface shimmered with a strange energy, and those who looked too long began to feel dizzy. In Tokyo, another craft passed over the city, projecting strange symbols onto buildings, symbols no human could read, but that made many uneasy. In the deserts of Australia, a third patrol ship landed briefly, scanning the ground before lifting away, leaving strange burned marks in the sand everywhere. The same feeling spread. The aliens were not just watching, they were studying, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. In the hidden base of the Black Star, Captain Elias Rains walked along the metal floor of the command deck. He had received a message from the UN Council, but it was short. Stand by. Rains knew what that meant. The leaders were still arguing, still hoping for a peaceful solution. But peace was already slipping away. He gathered his crew in the briefing room, faces lit by the dim glow of screens showing the alien movements. These ships are mapping us, Rains said, his voice calm but firm. They're looking for weaknesses. The longer we wait, the harder this fight will be. A young officer raised his hand. Sir, do you think they'll actually attack? Rains looked at him for a long moment, then answered, they didn't come all this way to leave, far above, on the alien flagship. Admiral Encircles received reports of human radio chatter, encrypted messages bouncing between military bases. He smiled. It did not matter how humans planned. The Galactic Fleet had technology to intercept and decode everything. But as the alien analysts listened, something strange happened. Some messages vanished before they could be captured. Others changed into false data. One of the alien technicians turned in confusion. Sir, I think they're blocking us. Encircles' smile faded. He remembered now humans had a talent for turning weakness into advantage. On Earth, the interference came from a hidden array linked to the Black Star. A system built to blind alien sensors in a small area. Rains had activated it without orders. A quiet act of rebellion against the Council's waiting game as the hours passed. Fear began to change into something else in some places. Soldiers volunteered for missions they knew were hopeless. Scientists worked without rest to find gaps. In alien armor, even ordinary people began to act, forming neighborhood watch groups, preparing supplies, refusing to run. But the alien fleet was still there, unmoving. Their shadow over Earth growing heavier by the hour. Then, without warning, 3 alien ships fired beams into the ocean, boiling water into steam. No one knew what they were targeting. But Rains did. They were searching for him, for the Black Star. The base shook violently, alarms flashing red, the crew scrambling to secure systems. The voice of the base AI echoed through the metal halls. Structural integrity at 93%, Rains gripped the edge of the command console. His decision now made: if they found the Black Star, they would destroy it before it could launch. He turned to his crew, his voice steady. "Get her ready. We launch at dawn." And somewhere above, on the alien flagship, Admiral Encircles narrowed his eyes at the dark patch of ocean on his sensors. Something was hiding there, and soon it would no longer be able to hide. The deep ocean was dark and still, but far below its surface, the Black Star began to stir. For years, it had slept in silence, hidden inside a massive steel hangar carved into the rock, protected by layers of water and secrecy. Now, glowing lines ran across its black hole like veins filling with light, each pulse growing brighter. The sound of heavy engines filled the water around it, a low, deep vibration that could be felt. More than heard, Captain Elias Rains stood on the command deck, watching the ship's systems come alive one by one, power grids online, weapon arrays charging, navigation sensors humming. The crew moved quickly, every member knowing this moment might be their first step into a war none of them could return from. They had trained for years in shadows, their names erased from public records, their families told they had died in classified missions. Some had never seen real combat, but all of them carried the same unspoken promise: if the Black Star launched, they would fight until the end. Above, the alien fleet's patrols grew closer, their scans searching the ocean depths, beams of strange light cutting through the waves. The hangar shook again as another deep-sea shockwave rolled past. A sign the enemy was getting too close. Rains gripped the railing, his voice steady but urgent. "Seal the docks. Prepare the ascent." Massive steel gates closed behind the ship, locking out the ocean. Pumps roared to life, draining the water from the launch chamber. The Black Star settled on its anti-gravity supports. Ready to rise, its design was unlike any other ship on Earth. A long, predatory shape, matte black, edges sharp like a blade, with armor that seemed to drink in the light. It was born from stolen alien blueprints, combined with human creativity and a desperate need to survive. Where alien ships relied on massive crews and automated systems, the Black Star was lean, fast, and armed with weapons no alien had ever faced. In the heart of the ship lay its most dangerous secret, the Singularity Core, a power source that bent space around it, allowing the Black Star to move in ways no enemy could predict. The crew called it the Ghost Engine, because when it activated, the ship could vanish from sensors entirely. Rains knew using it too soon would reveal their advantage. But keeping it hidden for the right moment could mean the difference between life and death. Far above, in the alien flagship, Admiral Encircles' sensors picked up a faint disturbance in the ocean. He frowned, leaning closer to the display. "Increase scan power. Something is down there." One of his officers hesitated. "It could be another human base, sir." Encircles' voice was cold, or it could be the reason they still resist back below. The Black Star's systems reached full readiness. The lights on the command deck shifting from amber to bright white. Rains placed his hand on the central control sphere, the ship responding to his touch like a living thing. "All stations launch," he said. With a deep rumble, the floor beneath them began to rise. Massive pistons pushing the ship upward through the launch shaft. Water poured down the sides as they broke the surface, the ocean parting around the hull. The night sky above was filled with alien lights. "Distant but closing, engage stealth field," Rains ordered. The Black Star shimmered, its hull bending light until it seemed to fade from sight. To the human eye it was still there, but to alien sensors, it became nothing more than a patch of cold darkness. Slowly, silently, it began to climb toward the edge of the atmosphere. Inside, the crew watched their displays. Tracking the alien fleet's positions, one officer whispered, "We're going to pass right under them." Rains gave a small smile. Good. Let's see how close we can get before they even know we're here, on the alien flagship. Admiral Encircles' scans flashed with static, his officers reporting interference. It's nothing, one insisted. Just human equipment failing under pressure. But Encircles' instincts told him otherwise. Something was moving in the darkness, as the Black Star reached the thin blue edge of the sky. The stealth field shimmered faintly, the ship's hull now glowing with the soft hum of its ghost. The view outside shifted from deep blue to endless black, stars stretching in every direction. Rains took a deep breath. We're in space, crew. Let's make our presence known. The stealth field dropped, revealing the Black Star in full, a sleek black predator against the starlight. Within seconds, alien sensors screamed alarms, their displays flooding with readings they had never seen before on the alien flagship. Encircles' eyes widened. That is no human toy. The Black Star's weapons powered up, their barrels rotating slowly, each one capable of tearing through the strongest alien shields. The crew braced as Rains gave his first battle order, his voice calm but sharp. Target their nearest patrol ship. Fire on my mark. A moment later, the darkness lit up with the first shot of the war. The Black Star floated in the darkness of space, its hull glowing faintly from the heat of its weapons charging. Before them, a single alien patrol ship moved across the black sky. Unaware that death was already aimed at it, Captain Elias Rains stood on the command deck. His eyes locked on the target display. Hold fire, he said quietly. The crew tense, their fingers hovering over controls. The alien patrol ship drifted closer, its sensors scanning for threats. But it still could not see the Black Star inside that alien vessel. The crew worked without urgency. Believing no human craft could possibly reach them, they laughed, spoke casually, confident in their shields, confident in their commanders. Planned to make Earth's bow. Rains waited until the alien ship's outline filled the view screen. Fire, he said, his voice calm but final. The Black Star's forward cannons roared. Sending a spear of blinding energy across the void, it struck the alien patrol ship dead center, their shields flaring once, then collapsing entirely. A heartbeat later, the ship split apart, its glowing pieces scattering into the dark like broken glass. The alien fleet reacted instantly. Alarms echoing through dozens of bridges, ships turned toward the blast, scanning wildly, searching for the source on the alien flagship. Admiral Encircles' eyes narrowed. Find it, he ordered. No human weapon does this. Back on the Black Star. The crew barely moved after the kill, their training holding them steady. It got their attention, Rains said, glancing at his tactical officer. Multiple red blips appeared on the radar. Alien ships closing in from all sides. They'll try to box us in, the officer warned. Rains nodded. Let them try. The Black Star shifted course, gliding smoothly between two massive alien cruisers. Both ships turned to fire, but Rains was faster. Port cannons now, he commanded. Twin bursts of energy tore across space, striking each cruiser's weapon arrays. The explosions rippling along their hulls, one cruiser spun out of control. Drifting helplessly, the other limped away, smoke trailing into the void. The alien formation broke apart in confusion, commanders shouting orders over each other. This was not how they had expected humans to fight. Humans were supposed to scatter and hide, not strike first on Earth. Military command centers erupted in cheers as the first battle footage came in. They had all expected to watch Earth's destruction, but instead, they saw an alien ship ripped apart in seconds. News networks replayed the moment again and again, calling the Black Star the ghost ship and Earth's blade in the dark. But Rains knew cheering too soon was dangerous. The alien fleet still had numbers on their side. And once they adapted to the Black Star's speed, the battle would change on the alien flagship. Encircles paced. This ship. It moves like nothing I've seen, he muttered. His second-in-command asked, Should we retreat, sir? Encircles' voice was sharp. No, we crush it before it can inspire them. The alien fleet adjusted their tactics. Smaller, faster ships breaking away to chase the Black Star. Rain saw them coming on the tactical display. 10 ships forming. A tightening ring? They want to trap us, his weapons officer said. Then let's make the ring explode, Rains replied. The Black Star's engines flared, and the ship dove straight toward the nearest attacker. The alien pilot tried to dodge, but the Black Star was faster. It passed within meters, firing point blank, splitting the ship in two before swinging upward into the center of the formation. They're surrounded on all sides. The Black Star unleashed a full rotation strike, all weapons firing in every direction at once. The space around them lit up with burning wreckage, alien ships bursting apart like paper in fire. In less than 30 seconds, half the attackers were gone. The rest retreating in chaos. Silence returned to the Black Star's bridge, broken only by the hum of the ship's systems. Rains looked at the stars outside, but he wasn't smiling. This is just their first wave, he said. His tactical officer nodded grimly. They'll send everything next time on the alien. Flagship Encircles stared at the wreckage on his screens. This human ship. It is dangerous, he admitted, then more quietly. Perhaps even more dangerous than I thought. But Encircles was not ready to give up. He had one more tactic, one designed to end any battle in his favor. The trap. He ordered his fleet to pull back slowly, creating the illusion of retreat. To human eyes, it would look like victory. But in reality, he was opening a path that would lead the Black Star straight into the jaws of his largest warship. And deep in his gut, Rains felt it. This battle was about to become a hunt, and he was the one being hunted. The alien fleet drifted back, their ships turning slowly as if in retreat from Earth's surface. Military observers cheered, believing the Black Star had forced them away. News broadcasts called it a miracle, showing the retreating alien ships as proof that humanity could fight back. But on the Black Star's command deck, Captain Elias Rains did not smile. He stood with his arms folded, staring at the tactical display. The alien ships were pulling back in a perfect curve, too clean, too controlled. They're not running, Rains said quietly. They're leading us somewhere. His tactical officer frowned. If it's a trap, sir, why not just hold their ground? Rains shook his head. Because they want us to think we have the upper hand. They want us to chase them above. The alien flagship, the massive warship called the Dominion Spear, floated at the far edge of the battlefield, hidden behind the curve of the moon. It was larger than any other vessel in the fleet, its armor black and silver, lined with glowing red channels that pulsed like veins. Inside, Admiral Encircles stood on his high bridge, his hands clasped behind his back. He watched the smaller ships fall into place, forming a funnel-shaped corridor in space. At the end of that corridor, the Dominion Spear's main cannon waited. One shot from that weapon could split the Black Star in half. Encircles smiled to himself. Let them come back on the Black Star. Rains paced, weighing his choices. If they pursued the retreating fleet, they might take down more ships, weakening the enemy. But if it was a trap, they would be walking straight into the jaws of the largest alien warship ever built. The crew watched him in silence, trusting his judgment. Finally he spoke. We'll follow them, but on our terms. He ordered the Ghost engine to run at low power, just enough to keep the Black Star hidden from most sensors. Then he deployed a group of decoy drones, small black spheres that mimicked the ship's energy signature from a distance.
Ow.
They would look like the Black Star itself. The alien fleet began to adjust their course, thinking the Black Star was taking the bait. In reality, the real Black Star slipped to the side, moving through the shadow of an asteroid belt. As they weaved between the rocks, alien patrol craft swept by, their sensors passing over empty space. The crew held their breath as one came dangerously close, its hull scraping against a chunk of drifting ice. But the patrol moved on, unaware that the hunter it sought was just meters away. Rains leaned over the navigation console. We'll circle wide and hit them from the flank. Meanwhile, Encircles grew impatient. The decoys had reached the funnel corridor, and he ordered the Dominion Spear's main cannon to charge. Massive coils along the ship's spine lit up, arcs of energy crackling between them. The weapon's power levels spiked, the air on the bridge humming with raw force. Fire, Encircles commanded. The beam erupted from the Dominion Spear. A blinding lance of red light cutting through space tore the decoys apart instantly. the explosion scattering fragments into the void. The alien officers cheered until they realized something was wrong. The wreckage was too small, too light. Encircles' smile faded. That was not the human ship at that same moment. Alarms blared on the Dominion Spear's bridge. The Black Star dropped from stealth on their flank. Its weapons already locked. Fire all batteries, Rains ordered, beams of blue-white. Energy ripped into the Dominion Spear's side. Tearing through armor plating and shattering weapon mounts, the massive ship shuddered. Rolling slightly under the force of the strike, inside, alien crew members scrambled to contain the damage. Encircles roared, "Turn the ship, face them." But the Black Star was already moving, weaving in close and firing again. Targeting weak points along the Dominion Spear's hull, each blast carved deep scars into the massive warship. Yet Rains knew the danger wasn't over. The Dominion Spear's main cannon began charging again, its coils glowing bright red if it fired at this range. Even the Black Star's armor wouldn't save them. "Evasive pattern Delta," Rains ordered. The Black Star darted to the side, the beam missing by only a few hundred meters. The heat washing over the hull like fire for a moment. The crew thought they might finish the Dominion Spear here and now, but dozens of alien reinforcements were closing fast. Their smaller ships swarming in to protect their flagship. Missiles streaked past the Black Star, explosions flashing across the darkness. Rains realized they couldn't stay. "Not yet. Full burn? Ghost engine," he commanded. The Black Star shimmered, its image bending and fading until it was gone from enemy sensors. The alien fleet fired wildly into empty space, hitting. Nothing. Encircles gripped the edge of his command chair, his voice low and dangerous. "Find them before they strike again." The Black Star slipped back into the shadow of the asteroid belt, disappearing into the dark. The trap had failed, but Rains knew the war had only just begun. The Black Star drifted silently in the shadow of the asteroid belt. Its hull still glowed faintly from the heat of battle, the scars from enemy fire stretching along its black armor like claw marks inside the command deck. The crew moved quickly, checking systems, repairing minor damage. Captain Elias Rains stood in front of the main display, his jaw tight, his eyes locked on the readings of the alien fleet. The trap had failed, but the enemy was not retreating, if anything. They were regrouping faster than expected, forming a new, tighter formation. "They'll come again," his tactical officer said quietly, "and next time, they'll bring." Everything. Rains didn't answer. He already knew. The Black Star had hurt them badly, and that meant the Galactic Fleet would now see this human ship as their top priority. They would not stop until it was destroyed, far across the void, aboard the alien flagship Dominion Spear. Admiral Encircles was making his own plans on his orders. The fleet began tightening its circle around the asteroid belt, cutting off all escape routes. Sensors scanned every rock, every shadow. This time, Encircles growled. "The human ship will not slip away." Back in the Black Star's war room, Rains gathered his senior crew. A holographic projection of the alien fleet spun slowly between them. "Red markers showing enemy capital ships, they've learned," Rains said, his voice steady. "Next, engagement will be outnumbered 10-1. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. One officer spoke. "Sir, even with stealth, we can't fight that many." Not without. She stopped herself, but everyone in the room knew what she meant. The event core, it was the Black Star's most dangerous weapon, hidden deep inside the ship, sealed behind triple-layer security. It was not a gun, not a missile. It was a device that could tear space itself apart, collapsing reality in a small area. Anything caught inside would be crushed, ripped, or erased entirely. The weapon was so dangerous that even the engineers who built it swore it should never be used unless Earth itself was about to fall. Rains had hoped they would never reach that point, but looking at the enemy formation, he knew the choice was coming. The silence in the room was heavy. Finally, Rains said, "Prepare the core." The crew froze. "Shocked, sir," his first officer said carefully. "If we use it here, the blast could destabilize this entire sector. The asteroids, the debris. It could make the area unpassable for years." Rains met his eyes. If we don't use it, there won't be anyone left to pass through. In the engineering bay, a small team unlocked the sealed chamber holding the event core. It was a black sphere the size of a human head, floating inside a containment field. Thin arcs of blue-white energy crawled across its surface like lightning trapped inside glass. The moment the field opened, the air grew heavier, as if the core was pulling at everything around it. In space, above the asteroid belt, the alien fleet continued its slow approach on the Dominion sphere. Encircles officers reported faint power spikes from somewhere inside the belt. "We found them," one said. Encircles' lips curled into a cold smile. "Close the net. Prepare to fire." Back in the Black Star's command deck, Rains watched the alien ships tightening the circle. "Charge the core to 30%, he ordered. The lights in the ship flickered as power rerouted. The hum of the engines deepening. Every crew member felt it. The ship itself seemed to grow tense, as if bracing for what was coming. On the alien flagship, sensors began to scream, showing unstable readings they couldn't identify. Encircles frowned. "What is that?" Technician replied nervously. "Sir, it's bending our targeting arrays. I can't get a clean lock inside the Black Star." The core's containment began to shimmer, small distortions appearing in the air. The tactical officer looked at Rains. 30% charged, sir." "Ready on your mark?" Rains stared at the alien formation on the display. His hand hovered over the activation control, but before he could give the order, 3 alien cruisers broke from formation and charged directly toward them. "They're trying to rush us," the weapons officer said. Rains made his choice, released the core. The command deck filled with a low, rising tone, the lights flickering to deep red. In the blackness of space, a tier opened near the Black Star. The twisting and spinning like a storm, the 3 alien cruisers plunged toward it, their hulls bending unnaturally, plates tearing away. The tier expanded suddenly, a ripple of force slamming into the surrounding ships. Breaking their formations one by one, the cruisers vanished into the distortion, pulled apart into fragments of metal and light before disappearing completely. The asteroid belt shook violently as debris slammed into rocks, explosions scattering dust clouds across space. When the tier closed, the silence returned. The alien fleet staggered, its formation broken, several ships crippled. But the core's power had left its mark. Nearby asteroids now drifted chaotically, their paths unpredictable. On the Black Star, the crew breathed heavily, sweat on their faces. "That," Rains said quietly, "is why we never use it lightly." Far away on the Dominion sphere, Encircles stood in stunned silence. He had expected human weapons to be crude, primitive, but this was something else, something the Galactic Fleet had never seen. And for the first time, he wondered if this war might cost him more than victory. The battle in the asteroid belt was over, but its echoes carried far beyond Earth. Across the galaxy, signals and recordings of the fight spread through shadow networks and hidden channels. Races who had never cared about humans before now replayed the same scene over and over. A single black ship tearing apart a fleet and unleashing a weapon that bent space itself. For many, it was a spark of hope. For others, it was a warning. On Earth, celebrations erupted in cities as news of the victory reached the public. People danced in the streets, waving flags, cheering the name of the Black Star. They believed the threat was gone, that the alien fleet would never dare return. But inside the Black Star's command deck, there was no celebration. Captain Elias Rains stood at the viewing window, watching the drifting debris field fade into the distance. He knew this was not the end, only the first strike in a war that would grow larger. His first officer approached quietly. "Sir, incoming long-range transmissions." Not from the enemy, from other systems. The screen lit up with dozens of signals. Some broken, some clear voices of alien species Rains had never heard before filled the air. They were not threats, they were pleas. "We have been under Galactic Fleet control for centuries. Help us. They took our children. They took our worlds. But now we see the humans can fight them. Stand with us, and we will stand with you." The crew exchanged glances, the weight of what they were hearing sinking in. This was no longer just Earth's fight. by striking the Galactic Fleet and surviving. The Black Star had become a symbol of resistance. But symbols attract attention, and enemies, far away, deep within Galactic Fleet territory. Other admirals met in secret. Encircles' failure had shaken them. They spoke of Earth as a threat that must be eliminated before the idea of human defiance spread any further. Some argued for a massive invasion to crush the humans quickly. Others warned that another loss would only make Earth's legend stronger in the end. They agreed on one thing: the Black Star must be destroyed at all costs. Back aboard the Black Star, Raines studied the incoming data from the desperate alien worlds. He saw the same pattern: worlds stripped of resources, populations forced into labor, cultures erased. His tactical officer leaned closer. "Sir, if we help them, we'll be fighting the fleet on a dozen fronts." Raines nodded slowly. "I know. But if we don't, we'll be fighting them alone." The decision weighed heavily. Earth's leaders sent encrypted messages, some urging Raines to stay close and defend the homeworld. Others demanded he take the fight outward to keep the fleet too busy to strike again. In the end, Raines chose the harder path. "We move," he told the crew. "We answer these calls, one by one." The engineering bay hummed as the Black Star prepared for a long journey. Repairs finishing, systems recharged, on the far edge of the galaxy, in the shattered remains of a mining world. An alien resistance leader received Earth's reply. The message was short: "We're coming." It spread like fire, whispered in marketplaces, hidden in the static of radio bands, etched into walls in the ruins of cities. "The humans are coming." But with every light of hope, shadows grew. The Galactic Fleet began deploying new weapons, ships designed specifically to counter the Black Star's speed and stealth. Spies moved through neutral systems, seeking any clue of where the human warship would strike next. And Admiral Encircles, humiliated but alive, swore an oath to personally tear the Black Star apart. He began gathering a special task force, the best hunters in the galaxy. Back on Earth, families of the Black Star's crew lived in secrecy. Protected but cut off from the celebrations, they knew what the public did not: the Black Star's survival had come at a cost. The event core's use had destabilized a large region of space, creating a danger that could trap or destroy any ship passing through. Some worlds now cursed the humans for bringing that danger to their trade routes. The galaxy was divided. Half saw humans as heroes, half as dangerous upstarts who had just declared war on an empire. But none could ignore them. The Black Star left orbit quietly. No fanfare, no send-off. It slipped into the deep dark, its hull vanishing under the shimmer of the ghost engine. Raines stood on the bridge, looking out into the endless stars. His voice was calm, but it carried through the ship like steel. "We've shown them we can fight. Now we show them we can win." The crew nodded, every face lit by the quiet fire of purpose. Far ahead, somewhere in the starlit black, the next battle waited, and as the Black Star moved silently toward it, the galaxy held its breath, knowing the war had truly begun.